What if one of the world's happiest countries isn't as perfect as you think? In Sweden, babies sleep outside in winter. Cash is disappearing. Alcohol is tightly controlled. And finding an apartment can take years. The real Sweden is far more surprising than the postcards suggest. Introduction to Sweden. Sweden is often portrayed as one of the world's safest, happiest, and most livable countries. Stretching across Scandinavia in Northern Europe, this nation of about 10.6 million people consistently ranks near the top of global quality of life indexes. It is known for its universal health care, generous parental leave, excellent public education, low levels of corruption, and breathtaking natural landscapes filled with forests, lakes, and thousands of islands. In recent years, Sweden has also remained among the world's leading countries in innovation, sustainability, and environmental protection. To many people, Sweden seems like a real-life paradise, a place where people enjoy financial security, clean cities, and a healthy work-life balance. International reports frequently place the country among the happiest nations on Earth, while its citizens generally express high levels of trust in public institutions and one another. But is Sweden really as perfect as it appears? Behind this impressive reputation lies a more complex reality. Like every country, Sweden faces challenges that are often overlooked by visitors and rarely discussed in travel brochures. Rising living costs, housing shortages in major cities, changing security concerns, long winters with limited daylight, and a culture that values privacy can all surprise newcomers. These realities do not erase Sweden's many strengths, but they reveal a country that is far more nuanced than its idealized image. In this video, we'll explore both the remarkable and the unexpected sides of modern Sweden, uncovering facts and traditions that many people never hear about. Nature and the right to roam. One of the most surprising things about Sweden isn't a famous landmark. It's a law-like tradition that gives everyone extraordinary access to nature. Known as allemansrätten, or the right of public access, this unique principle allows people to hike, camp for a night or two, pick wild berries and mushrooms, swim in lakes, and enjoy vast natural areas even when the land is privately owned. The only rule is simple: don't disturb, don't destroy. As long as visitors respect wildlife, crops, homes, and the environment, they are free to explore one of Europe's most beautiful landscapes. Sweden's natural beauty is truly remarkable. Around 69% of the country is covered by forests, making it one of Europe's most heavily forested nations. It is also home to nearly 100,000 lakes and an astonishing coastline dotted with more than 260,000 islands, the highest number of islands of any country in the world. From the Stockholm archipelago to the untouched wilderness of Swedish Lapland, nature is never far away. Another fact that surprises many visitors is the quality of Sweden's water. In most parts of the country, tap water is so clean that locals drink it straight from the faucet without hesitation, and many mountain streams are considered exceptionally pure. This deep connection to nature has shaped Swedish culture for generations. Rather than seeing nature as something to visit occasionally, many Swedes view it as an essential part of everyday life, a place to relax, exercise, and reconnect with family and friends throughout every season of the year. The people and the beauty of Swedes. When people talk about Sweden, one stereotype appears again and again: tall, blonde, blue-eyed, and effortlessly stylish. But that image is far too simple. Modern Sweden is a diverse country, shaped not only by old Nordic traditions but also by immigration, global culture, and a strong belief that people should not be judged only by appearance. Swedish beauty is often less about glamour and more about simplicity, confidence, health, and a natural way of living. Many Swedes prefer a clean, minimal style, Practical clothes, neutral colors, little makeup, and a look that feels relaxed rather than forced. This reflects a deeper cultural value. In Sweden, showing off too much can sometimes be seen as unnecessary. People often admire modesty, balance, and authenticity. A healthy lifestyle also plays a big role. Walking, cycling, spending time outdoors, and staying active are common parts of everyday life, not just weekend hobbies. Another important part of Swedish society is gender equality. Sweden ranked first in the EU Gender Equality Index 2025, with 73.7 out of 100, and the World Economic Forum's 2025 report placed Sweden among the world's top 10 countries for closing gender gaps. This does not mean everything is perfect, but equality is deeply built into public life, workplaces, parenting, and relationships. Dating and communication can also surprise foreigners. Swedes are often polite, calm, and respectful, but they may seem reserved at first. Small talk is not always common. Personal space matters, and direct pressure is usually avoided. In dating, equality is expected. Splitting the bill, respecting boundaries, and taking things slowly are all normal. For newcomers, this can feel distant. But in Sweden, privacy is not coldness. It is often a sign of respect. Unique customs and everyday habits. Some Swedish customs can seem surprising, even shocking, to visitors who are seeing them for the first time. One of the most talked about examples is the habit of letting babies nap outdoors, even during cold weather. In many Swedish preschools and families, it is not unusual to see strollers parked outside while children sleep bundled up in warm clothes and blankets. To outsiders, this may look strange, but many Swedish parents believe fresh air helps children sleep better and adapt to the climate. Of course, this is done with supervision, proper clothing, and attention to safe temperatures. Another sweet tradition is lördagsgodis, which means Saturday candy. Instead of eating candy every day, many Swedish children grow up with the idea that sweets are mainly for Saturdays. This tradition became popular in the mid-20th century and is still common today. On weekends, candy sections in Swedish supermarkets can be huge, colorful, and almost overwhelming. For many families, choosing candy on Saturday is not just about sugar. It is a small, weekly ritual. Sweden is also known for its strong views on children's rights. In 1979, it became the first country in the world to ban all physical punishment of children. This law reflected a major cultural belief. Children should be raised with respect, safety, and communication, not fear. Today, this approach is part of Sweden's international image as a country that takes child welfare seriously. These habits may surprise foreigners, but they reveal something important about Swedish life. Behind the quiet streets and simple routines is a society built around independence, trust, health, and respect for personal dignity from a very young age. Fascinating facts about Sweden. Sweden may look calm and orderly today, but its history is full of unusual moments that still surprise people around the world. One of the most famous happened on September 3rd, 1967, a day known as Dagen H, or H-Day. On that morning, the entire country switched from driving on the left side of the road to driving on the right. Streets were redesigned, traffic signs were replaced, and drivers had to adapt almost overnight. Amazingly, the change was carefully planned and became one of the most memorable traffic reforms in modern history. Sweden also had a strange rule connected to dancing. For decades, bars and restaurants needed a special permit if customers wanted to dance. The law was originally linked to public order and safety, but over time, many people saw it as outdated and almost comical. After years of debate, Sweden finally removed the dance permit requirement in 2023, making it much easier for venues to allow spontaneous dancing. The country is also home to some truly unusual museums. In Stockholm, visitors can explore the Vasa Museum, built around a 17th-century warship that sank on its first voyage and was later recovered almost perfectly preserved. There is also the ABBA Museum for music fans and the Disgusting Food Museum in Malmö, where visitors can smell and see on some of the world's most challenging foods. And then there is surströmming, Sweden's infamous fermented Baltic herring. It is so famous for its powerful smell that people often open the can outdoors. For some, it is a traditional delicacy. For others, it is one of the strongest food experiences they will ever encounter. These strange facts show that Sweden is not just clean, quiet, and modern. It is also full of history, humor, and traditions that can shock even experienced travelers. Fika culture and the philosophy of Lagom. To understand Swedish daily life, you have to understand Fika. At first, it may look like a simple coffee break, but in Sweden, Fika is much more than drinking coffee and eating a cinnamon bun. It is a social ritual, a moment to slow down, talk, and reconnect with others. In offices, schools, homes, and cafes, Fika gives people permission to pause their busy day and spend time together. For many Swedes, skipping Fika is almost like skipping a small but important part of life. What makes Fika special is not the coffee itself, but the feeling behind it. It can be a quiet conversation between friends, a relaxed meeting with coworkers, or a warm family moment on a cold afternoon. In a country where people are often seen as reserved, Fika creates a natural space for connection without pressure. Another key idea in Swedish culture is lagom, often translated as just the right amount. It means not too much, not too little, but balanced and appropriate. Lagom can be seen in Swedish design, work-life balance, food, fashion, parenting, and even conversation. It encourages people to live comfortably without excess, to enjoy life without showing off, and to value balance over competition. Closely connected to this is jantelagen, or the law of Jante. It is not an official law, but a cultural idea that discourages arrogance and self-importance. In simple terms, it reminds people not to act as if they are better than everyone else. To some foreigners, this may feel restrictive, especially in societies where self-promotion is encouraged. But in Sweden, modesty, equality, and humility are often seen as signs of maturity. Together, Fika, Lagom, and Jantelagen reveal a deeper side of Sweden, a society that values calmness, balance, connection, and quiet confidence over loud displays of success. Innovation and world-changing inventions. Although Sweden has a population of only about 10.6 million people, it has had an extraordinary influence on the global economy and modern technology. Over the past century, this Nordic nation has produced some of the world's most recognizable companies. IKEA transformed the furniture industry with affordable flat-pack designs. Spotify revolutionized music streaming. Volvo became synonymous with automotive safety. H&M grew into one of the world's largest fashion retailers. Ericsson helped shape modern telecommunications, and the globally successful video game Minecraft was created by the Swedish company Mojang. For such a relatively small country, Sweden consistently ranks among the world's leading nations in innovation and startup creation. One of Sweden's greatest contributions has undoubtedly been the three-point seatbelt. In 1959, Volvo engineer Niels Bolin invented the modern three-point safety belt, a design that has since saved more than 1 million lives worldwide, according to safety experts. Instead of keeping the patent exclusive for profit, Volvo made the design freely available to other car manufacturers, allowing the invention to become a global safety standard. It remains one of the most important innovations in automotive history. Sweden is also recognized as one of the world's leaders in environmental sustainability. Less than 1% of household waste ends up in landfills, thanks to advanced recycling systems, waste-to-energy plants, and strict environmental policies. Much of the country's non-recyclable waste is converted into electricity and district heating, helping power homes while reducing landfill use. Swedish households are also encouraged to sort their waste carefully, making recycling a normal part of everyday life, rather than an occasional effort. This culture of innovation extends beyond technology. Sweden consistently performs well in international rankings for research, digital competitiveness, and clean energy. From groundbreaking inventions to environmentally responsible solutions, the country has shown that even a small nation can have a lasting impact on how the world lives, works, and solves global challenges. A society built on trust. One of the most powerful but invisible features of Swedish life is trust. Sweden is often described as a high-trust society, where people generally believe that public systems, institutions, and even strangers will act responsibly. According to the OECD's 2026 Trust Survey, 42% of people in Sweden reported high or moderately high trust in the national government in 2025, slightly above the OECD average of 40%. That may not sound perfect, but compared with many countries, Sweden still has a strong foundation of public confidence. This trust can be seen in everyday life. People follow rules even when no one is watching. Parents may leave strollers outside cafes while babies sleep. Customers often use self-service systems honestly. Public spaces are generally treated with care. Life feels smoother because society does not rely only on fear of punishment, but on shared responsibility. A special example is Sweden's school lunch system. Under the Swedish Education Act, pupils in compulsory school are entitled to a free, nutritious school lunch, and Sweden has a long tradition of universal school meals. This is not just about food. It reflects the idea that every child should have a fair start during the school day, regardless of family income. Sweden is also widely recognized for low levels of corruption. Transparency International's 2025 Corruption Perceptions Index gave Sweden a score of 80 out of 100, placing it among the cleaner public sectors in the world. Of course, trust does not mean society is perfect. Debates about crime, inequality, and public services still exist. But compared with many places, Sweden shows how much easier daily life can become when people believe that systems are fair, taxes are used for public benefit, and most citizens are willing to follow the same social contract. One of the world's most cashless societies. Imagine walking into a cafe with cash in your pocket, only to be told that it is not accepted. For many visitors, this is one of the biggest surprises in Sweden. Over the past decade, the country has become one of the world's leading cashless societies. Today, credit cards, debit cards, contactless payments, and mobile apps are accepted almost everywhere, from supermarkets and restaurants to taxis, museums, parking meters, and even many public restrooms. In some places, carrying cash is actually less convenient than carrying nothing but a smartphone. At the center of this digital transformation is Swish, a mobile payment app launched in 2012 through a partnership between major Swedish banks. What began as a simple way to transfer money between friends has evolved into an essential part of everyday life. Today, more than 8 million people, out of a population of around 10.6 million, use Swish to pay for everything from groceries and haircuts to charity donations and flea market purchases. Small businesses, sports clubs, churches, and even street musicians often display a Swish QR code instead of a cash box. This digital lifestyle offers obvious advantages. Payments are completed within seconds. There is less need to carry cash, and the risk of theft is reduced. Businesses also benefit from faster transactions and lower cash handling costs. Sweden's banking system has become one of the most technologically advanced in Europe, making everyday financial activities remarkably smooth. However, this convenience also comes with challenges. Older adults, tourists, and people who are less comfortable with digital technology may find it difficult to adapt. If a phone battery dies, a payment network experiences technical problems, or an internet connection is unavailable, buying even basic necessities can become difficult. For this reason, Swedish authorities and financial institutions continue to discuss the importance of maintaining some level of cash infrastructure as a backup during emergencies. Sweden's cashless revolution may represent the future of payments, but it also highlights the importance of balancing innovation with resilience and accessibility. High living costs and Sweden's unique alcohol system. While Sweden is famous for its high quality of life, it is also known for having one of the highest costs of living in Europe. Visitors are often surprised by the prices of everyday goods and services. Dining at a restaurant, renting an apartment, taking a taxi, or even getting a simple haircut can cost significantly more than in many other countries. In major cities such as Stockholm, Gothenburg, and Malmö, housing is one of the biggest expenses, and many residents spend a substantial portion of their income on rent or mortgages. Although average salaries are relatively high, so are taxes and living expenses, making careful budgeting an important part of everyday life. Another aspect of Swedish life that catches many tourists off guard is the country's approach to alcohol. Unlike in many countries where spirits can be purchased at ordinary supermarkets, Sweden has a unique system designed to promote public health. Beverages with an alcohol content above 3.5% are generally sold only through Systembolaget, a government-owned retail chain that has operated for decades. These stores are known for offering a wide selection of wines, beers, and spirits, but they also have limited opening hours and are usually closed on Sundays and public holidays. For first-time visitors, it can be quite a surprise to discover that buying a bottle of wine for a weekend dinner requires planning ahead. Walking into a convenience store late at night and expecting to find hard liquor simply does not work in Sweden. The government maintains this system as part of its long-term strategy to reduce alcohol-related harm while still allowing adults to purchase alcoholic beverages responsibly. Although some people view these regulations as inconvenient, many Swedes have grown accustomed to them and appreciate the focus on public health. For travelers, however, Sweden offers an interesting reminder that even in one of the world's most modern and open societies, certain traditions and regulations remain very different from what they may be used to back home. Sweden's housing crisis. One of the biggest challenges in modern Sweden is housing. From the outside, Sweden may look organized, wealthy, and well-planned, but finding a place to live in its major cities can be surprisingly difficult. In Stockholm, Gothenburg, Malmö, Uppsala, and other growing urban areas, demand for housing has often increased faster than the supply of available homes. As a result, newcomers quickly discover that getting an apartment is not always simple, even if they have a job or savings. The rental system can be especially confusing. Sweden has a regulated first-hand rental market, where tenants rent directly from a landlord or housing company. These contracts are highly desirable because they are usually more stable and affordable. However, in popular cities, waiting lists can be extremely long. In Stockholm, some people wait many years for a first-hand rental contract in an attractive area. Because of this, many people are forced into the second-hand market, where they rent from someone who already has a lease or owns the apartment. These arrangements can be more expensive, temporary, and uncertain. Students, immigrants, young professionals, and people moving for work often face the hardest situation. Without local contacts, a Swedish credit history, or years already spent in a housing queue, finding a secure home can feel overwhelming. Some students have to accept shared rooms, short-term sublets, or apartments far from campus. New arrivals may spend months moving from one temporary address to another. The shortage is not just about comfort. Housing affects jobs, education, family life, and integration. When people cannot find stable homes near where opportunities exist, it becomes harder for them to build a future. This is one of Sweden's clearest modern contradictions. A country known for security and social planning still struggles to provide enough accessible housing in the places where people most want to live. Sweden may look perfect from the outside, but its real story is full of beauty, surprises, and contradictions. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who loves discovering the world.